Snooping on someone's email, is it illegal or just not so nice? Attorney David Aylor, future Supreme Court Justice, is here with us on this Trial Tuesday. Counselor, thank you for coming, as always. Tell us all about this problem. It seems like it's becoming more prevalent in our more electronic society.
Right, and I think nowadays you're not seeing it just in emails, but also social media accounts, particularly with Facebook and within domestic situations, obviously. I've actually had a couple of cases where it's come up myself that we were dealing with. But really what just happened was last week the Supreme Court here in the state of South Carolina came down and said what had occurred in this specific case where basically the relative of the mother that was in a divorce, it was actually her son's wife from a previous marriage, had worked for this gentleman who was her husband. And I know that sounds a little bit off there, but more or less a relative got into this email account of the husband who was having an affair and then turned that information over to her lawyer and her attorney. And basically what the husband claimed and his attorney claimed was this was a violation of a 1986 federal law against, basically breaking into someone's email account and that sort of thing, which would be a criminal act, actually. Right. And the Supreme Court came down here in our state, and the way that they looked at it was that, in fact, it was not. That law was somewhat hazy and a little bit hard to understand, but specifically what this lady did in this situation would not be, a violation of that law.
What does that decision mean for us going forward in terms of email protection and social media protection?
Well, I mean, as of right now, I think there's just not a law in place that is protecting you from that in regards to if another private citizen. Now, clearly it's different when the government does it, all that sort of thing is going to get thrown out. It's something that the courts have come down a lot on in regards to warrants for looking in your cell phone, looking in your email and social media, anything like that. But when this situation where you had one private citizen and another more or less hacking into it, except in this situation she actually answered the security questions because she had worked for the man, so right. She knew him. But as of right now, there's no really criminal law out there, but the justices were quick to point out that they didn't encourage this behavior.
Indeed, because, I mean, obviously there's a lot of things on our private social networking sites and in our emails that we don't want to get out into the public. So what's kind of your best recourse as a private citizen to make sure that doesn't happen?
Well, I mean, obviously you need to make sure you're very secure with what you use as your passwords and things like that. Sort of a joke that everybody knows somebody else's password if you just think for a few minutes. And that really is true because it's what's easy it comes to you. Or your security questions. You want to try to make it as well protected as possible so that no matter how close someone is to you, if you don't in fact want them in your accounts, they shouldn't be able to get there. And so it really comes down to just personal security in the first place.
1234 is not a good password.
No, neither is 1113, which was my old ATM account. That really didn't work out either. Kind of added it,
Gotcha. Counselor, if you're finding out that this has happened to you, someone's hacked into your email or your Facebook page, your social media accounts, what legal recourse do you have now?
Well, really what you can look at is some civil remedies. Again, this was related to the criminal act of actually getting in. But if someone's getting in your account or has gotten your account and then exposed to some of your personal information, how that may have affected your business, may have affected you personally, you would want to really consult with an attorney and see what you can do to either get a restraining order in place or some sort of injunction to stop whatever information is leaked. You're really starting to see more and more issues with privacy because of the internet. Recently we saw celebrities with videos of intimate relations that get leaked out on the internet. Those are again all violations of your privacy. However, there's not a lot of laws in place for that, so that's where you see the civil side of it come out.
Pictures are always a really great area on these social networking sites too, because you can get on there and look at a lot of them, but you can't publish those pictures per se.
Right, and you do see a lot of people that still do publish them within news media websites and things like that. I know when I have a client, the first thing that I do if there's any kind of media attention is we ask them to take down their media site, social media site, simply for that reason. Because if someone has access to that account as a friend or connection as a friend, or if it's just public, then those pictures are able to be used, and you'll see them on the internet or in the newspaper, that sort of thing.
When in doubt, keep a secure password and change it often. Really, the two best ways to avoid this.
Absolutely, and including your security questions as well.
Indeed. David Aylor, thank you so much for your time, sir. Do appreciate it, as always, and we'll be right back with more Low Country Live after this.